Hey tubers, Mitty here. So y'all better get ready because I'm gonna learn you people something today. So on a lot of the videos that I've been watching recently, I've seen a lot of comments about AutoTune. Overuse of AutoTune, too much AutoTune, it's good, but there's just too much AutoTune. Comments like that. And then I watched the video, and I don't see any traces of AutoTune at all. So what I'm starting to realize is that people don't know what AutoTune is. People nowadays seem to think that if someone can sing decently on pitch, that it must be auto-tuned. So buckle up and get ready because I'm going to learn you people all you need to know about auto-tune. According to Wikipedia, AutoTune is an audio processor created by Antares Audio Technologies, which uses a proprietary device to measure and alter pitch in vocal and instrumental music recordings and performances through the use of a phase vocoder. Basically what that's saying is AutoTune affects pitch in instruments and vocals. Far from what many believe, AutoTune was not even created in order for the music industry. It was created by this worker from Exxon who was drilling for oil down, like way down in the bottom of the ocean. And he was using a sonar in order to, find the sound waves so he could find oil deposits. And what he developed is that if he shot something down, it would come back up the same way if there was oil there. So he'd set it to the setting that if there was oil there, that setting would come back up. That's kind of confusing, and I don't really understand it all that much, but that's what it was. It didn't enter the music industry until 1998 with Cher's hit single Believe, and in that case, the way they discovered it was by accident, actually, is they were playing around with the vocoder, and they set it to a very high aggressive setting that made it so it kind of made the voice very robotic and electronic. And then they applied it to Cher's voice and to see what it would do. And the track was already done and ready to be released, but when Cher heard the effect, she wanted it on the album, and she wanted it on that single. The record company suggested that she take it off, but Cher shot back with Over My Dead Body. And she didn't use it to correct her vocals, because like I said, the single was already done. She used it just because she liked the sound of it. And so once she did that, that's when, it became huge in the music industry and everyone wanted to start using it. And it's actually dubbed the Cher effect. Many artists use AutoTune today. Cher was the first one to use it, and it was dubbed the Cher effect right after Believe was released. But I think it was made very popular by T-Pain because then it was redubbed the T-Pain effect. And with T-Pain is he uses AutoTune like that's the only thing there is. Like, it's straight AutoTune. Like, if you listen to, say, The Best Love Song, it's just straight AutoTune. I mean, so with him, I kind of get the feeling that he uses it for its pitch correction purposes, because he's more of a rapper than a singer. So I think he just wants to make sure his singing is on spot, yet he so overdoes it that I think he also just likes the effect. It's not solely because he can't sing. And he probably can sing, but he just likes the effect, And, many other pop artists use it, like Britney Spears. She used it a bit back in 2003 and 2004 with In the Zone. And then in 2007, it was heavily used on Blackout. And she used it a bit. She used it a lot on Circus, and then there's a bit on Femme Fatale too. And then there's that other little girl, what's her name? The drunk $ girl, the one who's always drunk. Lozelle talks about her a lot. What's her name? Ketchup. Yeah, Ketchup. Ketchup uses AutoTune a lot. And with her, the interesting thing about her was that she does not need it, alright? The record label is marketing her that way because when she was in the producer's office, ready to be signed, she sang a ballad, and it was like perfect. And then she also sang her screechy, kind of normal Ketchup thing that we hear nowadays. And they signed her because of the second one, because that's the image they marketed. And she now heavily uses AutoTune, and she heavily, is just, Ketchup, nasty, drunken $. But she uses it because they like the effect. Because if you listen to her songs, it's so kind of overdone that it's like, if she actually couldn't sing, you'd hear it a lot more of kind of jumping around like the, but instead it's just kind of a layered effect. So she's another one who uses it but doesn't really need it. I don't really think that all the artists really have a say on whether it's put on the track or not, because in a case like Britney Spears, who doesn't have much input into her recent albums, I think it's more of the producer and the executive producers more of say on how the album sounds and how the effects are made. Now I'm sure like Britney gets kind of like a little input in what it's heard, but ultimately it's decided by the record label because they're the ones who hired the people to write the song and produce the songs. Now with artists like Pink or Avril Lavigne, you never hear them use AutoTune, but you also notice that they all write their own songs. They can all sing really, really well live. I mean, I'm pretty sure those two are probably two of the ones who sound better live than recorded. And see, they have much more input into their albums and into the songs and stuff. So I think that if that ends up happening, they have a say on how the track turns out and how they use AutoTune or not. It's not a very good example because neither of those artists need AutoTune, period, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. Like I said before, it's a very standard pop industry tool now, so many artists and record labels want that on their tracks. Autotune's used for pitch corrections, to correct, off-pitch vocals and such, but it's also used, I think, for, just a cool effect, the robotic effect. That's why people like to use it. And, I think that in the case of someone like Christina Aguilera, if she uses it, well, we all know she can sing and she can belt and she does not need autotune, but she'd use it because she likes to be creative and use different type of effects and experiment. Now, somebody like Rebecca Black, who has very little talent, with her song Fried Eggs, she uses it because she probably hits an off key every other note. I mean, like if you hear the song, you can tell that they tried to make the autotune subtle enough to where it's not like overdone like T-Pain does, but that they're trying to correct those little pitch vocals, but yet she was off so much that you can still hear it. So, those are two examples of why people use it. Some people use it for the effect, and some people use it because they can't sing. So now you have a little brief overview of what AutoTune is and a little history lesson for y'all's. And in the next video, I will compare firsthand what AutoTune is and what AutoTune is not. And I will show how some people can make the mistake of confusing the effects, like with the chorus effect or a vocoder or something. And then I will also show you how some people are completely tone deaf and think that just because someone can sing that they use AutoTune. And we'll expose them for the dumbasses that they are. So, yeah, I'll be looking out for that.